Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to make a video announcing that I will be a gestational surrogate. There's a lot of reasons why I wanted to do this. People I love who are very dear to me have struggled with fertility, and I saw how awful it is. So I really just wanted to help someone have a family, and this was one of the best ways I knew how. I kind of wanted to go over the whole process so far because I haven't made any videos or anything on it, because in the beginning it's just kind of like anything could go any which way. So I was kind of hesitant to make a video on it, but now that we're getting further along in the process and we're almost to transfer, I just wanted to talk a little bit about it. So me and my husband have been talking about this for quite a while. You know, there's a lot that goes into it, a lot emotionally, a lot legally, financially, everything that goes into it. So it was a long thinking and research process. So we did a lot of that up front. So we knew going into the process kind of what it was going to look like. So you can do gestational surrogacy two ways. You can do through independent, which means that you just find a couple that you know or you're going to get to know, and you guys do all the footwork yourself. So you make the doctor's appointments, they find you a lawyer, you get all the documents, and you don't have someone kind of acting as a liaison and someone helping you through all this process. Or you can go through an agency. And that's what we chose to do, because a lot of this, it just gets kind of scary if you don't know what you're doing. And as a first-time gestational surrogate, I didn't know what I was doing. So that's the way we chose to go. I'm not going to say the agency name that I went with. If you are curious, though, I suppose you could message me and I could let you know. But this agency is world-renowned, and they have a very good reputation, which was something me and my husband were really looking at, because a lot of stuff can go wrong. So you really just want some really good guidance and protection. So it first started out, you apply to an agency. You can usually go to the website and there's an application there, and they'll usually let you know if you meet the very basic requirements up front. Those requirements include a BMI of 32 or less, be between the ages of 21 to 41. Oh man, remembering these. Have had at least one child that you are currently raising, for the most part complication-free during your pregnancy, been off antidepressants or anti-anxiety medication for over a year. I think that's it. If there's any more I can remember, I'll put it up here. I know you can't have any kind of criminal record, and you can't be like an alcoholic or a drug addict. I mean, that's a duh, but I'll put a whole list of the requirements right here so you guys can check it out, or a link down in the description to see if you meet them. So I went on, I did that. And then that evening I had a text and an email saying like, hey, there's a couple things I wanted to go over. I was on a medication for acne, so they would want me to go off that. And then you have to talk about really tough things like abortion and your views on things like that, your state laws. So we went over that a little bit. I do want to just say up front, don't let any of the agencies bully you into a certain timeline that they think is acceptable. Know in your heart what is true to you and what you believe is acceptable, because ultimately this is your body. I just wanted to add that in as a little side note. Don't let yourself get bullied, because they will try. They will try. So we went over that, and then I had a pre-screening coordinator call me the next day, and we went over basically all the same things. My health insurance, I had to get a copy of the handbook. They got my medical records from my pregnancy, and we went over all the same things, what it entails emotionally, financially, your health insurance, your support system, all of that. After that, they'll let you know if you're like firsthand approved. They will send those, your medical records from your pregnancy as well to the IVF doctor that they keep on staff, to look it over and see if you're a good candidate, and if you get approved, you get moved on to the social screening. By now, I think it was by the end of the week that I had applied, or the next Monday. I think it was the next Monday. We had set up a social screening call. So what that means is they give you a social worker through this, and they're basically like another leg to your support system. And they do like your kind of firsthand evaluation of your life, of your pregnancy, of your support system, of your marriage, of your family, of your friends, of pretty much everything. So you have a Skype call for 2.5 hours, and like I said, they go over your relationship, your childhood, how you were in high school, how you are now, how you would describe yourself, how your friends and family would describe you, how your husband would describe you, how your marriage is, your parenting techniques, have you ever done drugs, do you ever drink? They just dig through it. And then they do the same thing with your spouse. But that call's not quite as long. It's an hour. And I think what they're basically trying to do is make sure, they're not doing anything illegal, and making sure your views align. Because that could create a rift, either between you and your parents or between you and your spouse. So that is important that they do that. And then after that, you get matched. And what that means is they created a profile for you based off of all the things you told them, and you give them some pictures. And then what we call IPs, or intended parents, intended mother, intended father, they have a profile. So basically they send your profile to the intended parents and the intended profile to you. And by this time, I think it was week 2 after I applied. So this went really fast in the beginning. And I applied June 5th. This was like June 10th or 12th. I'd have to look at my emails if you want exact dates. But it went really, really fast. I was really surprised. So I looked over the intended parents profile, and I loved it. They seem like such sweet people, very genuine. Now you do have the choice to say no. If you get a profile and you just don't feel it in your gut, or you think you won't have views that align, you can just right off the bat say no, I don't even want to bother speaking to them, if you want. But I wouldn't. I would at least speak to them. But I loved their profile. So we had a Skype call, me and my husband and the intended parents, where we got to know each other a little bit. At first it was really awkward. I'm not gonna lie to you. What do you talk about with complete strangers? So it was a little difficult, like for the first 5 minutes being like, hi. But it gets easier. And we really all hit it off. We talked for like an hour, and I loved them. My husband loved them. And we all just felt like it was a really good match. So we emailed into the agency and we said, hey, we all like each other. From then on out, they ask that you speak to the intended parents weekly, if you can Skype, and that's what we've done. We talk every Sunday evening, and we Skype, and it's lovely and wonderful, and I love it. After that, mine went kind of out of order. So normally you go to your medical screening pretty soon after that, and then once you're approved, you go to contracts. How mine worked is we had a pretty big gap in between when we got matched in the medical screening. I think it was over a month that we were waiting on the medical evaluation. I'm not sure why it was so long. It's just how it kind of worked out. But in between that time, I got the first draft of the contract. I think I want to say that was 2.5, 3 weeks after we first got matched. I had got the first draft of the contract. And this contract, it's a legal binding document, obviously, between you and the IPs, stating what you're going to do for them, that you're going to carry their baby for them, and the stipulations surrounding that. Again, it goes over termination, financials, emotional support, where you will and will not visit, what you do and do not agree to. And you're allowed to make changes to this. I made changes to mine. I don't know if I'll go into what I changed, but I did make changes to mine, and we all agreed on the changes, which was great. And so I sent my changes back to them, they agreed, and then I had that back, I think it was a week later, and I signed and returned it, and then they signed their part, and they did all of their will and all of the rest of the legal stuff, and then we were legally cleared. Woohoo! So that happened even before the medical evaluation. So I went for the medical evaluation August 15th to a fertility clinic in the Northeast. And I had the evaluation, and it all went great. So that there they check your uterus lining to make sure that it's fit to carry a baby. They do so many blood tests, They check your hormone levels, like things in your blood that would be related to drugs. I don't know. But it was like 10 vials of blood, I swear. And I had it done twice. Once they let me do it locally, and then I got it done up again there. But it wasn't as much blood taken up there. It was just like another drug test, I think. So we passed all that. My uterus looked fine. We also had another, I forgot to mention, I had a psych eval. Right after we got matched that next week, I had a psych evaluation with a registered psychologist, whatever, you know. And I took an MMPI, which basically just tells them if I'm emotionally stable enough to do this, because it can take a toll on you emotionally. So I passed that, and then I had another one when I went for the medical evaluation. Not quite as extensive. They really just talked to me, asked me questions about my past, and so I had one, the intended parents had one, and then we all had one together. All went really well. It all passed, went really good. And then now I'm just waiting for my calendar. A calendar is the schedule up into transfer. So you go on several injectables and medication. Most is Lupron to stop ovulation, progesterone to help thicken your lining. And then I feel like there's another one. I know I'm on birth control now. They put me on birth control. I can't remember the other one. They put me on some more, but I will go over that in my next couple of videos. I mainly just wanted to announce this and kind of go over the process so far. So I originally applied June 5th, originally applied June 5th, and today is August 30th. When I was down there, they said we're aiming for a transfer date, which means transferring the parent's embryo into my uterus for me to carry a viable pregnancy. We're aiming for a transfer date of late September, early October, which is great. This is a really good timeline. A lot of people, they end up in the waiting game for a year just trying to get to transfer. So this has gone by really fast. I'm really excited. I'm so excited to help give someone a family, to make a difference in someone's life, and to just do something genuinely good. So I'm really excited. When I get my calendar, I'll go over that. I'll go over how to give a progesterone shot because it is intramuscular, which is really scary, and the needle's like that long, so it's pretty scary. So I'll go over how to do that, how to do the Lupron shot, and then just my journey. I'm excited to share this with you guys, and yeah. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. I would really love to answer them for you. Since I started this, I've just like obtained a passion for gestational surrogacy and learning all about it that I can. So like I said, if you have any questions, leave them down below or just message me. I'd be happy to help you. And yeah, thanks so much, guys. Bye.